What is going on, you guys? My name is Spideyco64, and welcome back to yet another NASCAR 1/64 scale diecast review. And here today, ladies and gentlemen, we're here today to have a look at two diecasts. Of course, it is another double diecast review. And the cars that we're here today to have a look at, folks, of course, these two cars, as you can see right here in front of you, both of these two cars come from two completely different eras of the sport. But however, though, they both have one thing in common, and that is it is the number 43 car in the STP colors. But more importantly, folks, we're here today to have a look at both Richard Petty's and Erik Jones number 43 STP cars. Now, to be more specific, we're here to have a look at the Richard Petty number 43 STP Firecracker 400 race win. This is the 200th win of Richard Petty's career. This is a 94 Pontiac Grand Prix. And as for Erik Jones, this is the number 43 STP car that he was scheduled to run at the Dover Motor Speedway. But we'll get a little bit more into that. Here is a quick look at the boxes for both of them. As you can see, the Erik Jones one comes in the 2024 packaging that we're all used to. And then there's the NASCAR Classics packaging. And also, this is the first Legacy Motorsport Club car that we are taking a look at. I don't count that Erik Jones Darlington win as one, just because that was before Jimmie Johnson bought an ownership stake into the team. And actually, just as I am recording this video, it was announced that Jimmie Johnson now has a majority ownership in Legacy Motorsport Clubs. So now it's completely owned by Jimmie Johnson. So take of that as you will, for better or for worse. But yeah. Anyways, folks, before we do kind of go ahead and get into the video, I want to make really one thing clear. I was originally not going to be doing that. I was not originally going to be doing this review. Truth be told, the reason why this happened was because I went onto this deep rabbit hole of looking for NASCAR Classic diecast on eBay just to see which ones would be a pretty good review. And that is when I stumbled upon that number 43 Richard Petty car. And then also that's the same kind of story with the number 43 Erik Jones one. As it turns out, Lionel Racing made the STP throwback scheme that Jones, again, was supposed to schedule to run at Dover Motor Speedway earlier this year, but we'll get more into that in a little bit. But suffice to say, when I saw that these two diecasts were both out, and I was able to find a good price for this one, as this one was just recently released in 2022, so not that long ago. And then this one, of course, is a more recent release. It should be out now, as far as I'm concerned. It just kind of took a while for these two to come out. But I'm actually kind of quite glad that it came out now, because I was not going to upload a video during the Rolex 24. Just saying. So, yeah. But anyways, though, here is a look at the two cars themselves. Again, two really iconic looking, an iconic looking paint scheme on really two different looking cars. Yeah, so as of course you can see, here's the comparison between both of these two cars. And yeah, look at the difference between both of these two. It is just night and day. Look at that. So with that really kind of being said, we're going to go ahead and start off here with the Richard Petty one here first. And then we'll go to the Erik Jones one, as we're a bit more familiar with that car, obviously. Here is the Richard Petty one. The number 43 STP car on the Pontiac body. Now, remember back in the Dale Earnhardt review how I mentioned how that car, the 98 500 one, how that was probably the most iconic win in NASCAR history? Well, I did not mention Petty's 200th win in NASCAR in the Cup Series. I did not mention that. So this is probably up there as one of the more iconic wins in NASCAR. Of course, this was, the race where Petty won his 200th career win in the NASCAR Cup Series and virtually went winless throughout the rest of his Cup Series career. Wow, that's a lot of years that he went winless. and all that sort of stuff. Wow, that's just pretty crazy to think about, how he went just winless for that long, but still love racing. I don't know. I don't think any driver would do that nowadays. Well, Jimmy's actually kind of doing that, unironically. But anyways, though, as of course you could see, first impressions on this car, man, I really love this car a lot. First impressions, I'm pretty impressed with the way that this came out. Of course, this car, you know, this is a car that we just normally don't really look at normally. And that's really kind of why I've been doing a lot of these NASCAR Classic reviews, just because they're cars that you don't typically look at, like, you know, every day. Now, of course, you know, there's number 43 cars out here, but look at this car, man. Look how slanted the body looks. Just look how kind of boxy this thing kind of is. Really, truly is an era of NASCAR that's just a bygone era. Not to say that there's anything bad about modern NASCAR. Well, okay, well, if you were to say that, then people would cause a Frankie. But hey, old NASCAR and new NASCAR has a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. I'm just going to say that. But yeah, I really do love the way this car came out. Now, if I do have to complain a little bit about this car, for starters, there is this issue with the wheel, the back wheel kind of bowing out a little bit, but it's not that bad. Not like on this stale car right here, which, God, that is just so fucking annoying. Also, look at these two cars side by side. Wow, do they look so different from each other. And again, this probably is not the right scale. Or I don't know, maybe it's not correct, but what do I know? Actually, here's a comparison that actually might be the best comparison. Here's Richmond's Monte Carlo from '86. So yeah, a little bit. So yeah, they are kind of a little bit similar, but at the same time, they are different. Like, as you can see, this back window here is pretty big. Well, there's none there, so yeah. But other than the wheel issue, then right here, which is, I don't know, I don't really like that, but luckily it's not that bad. One thing though that I will say though is that it looks like that the car is not really on right with the chassis. Or I don't know why these things extend all that far, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if the car is entirely was like that back in '84. I'm not so sure, since, I mean, hey, we don't have really good reference photos, but just to test it out. It doesn't really roll that well. I guess that's not really great. But still, though, but with that really kind of being said, I do like the way the car came out. Now, this is painted, the chassis is painted blue, which I won't harp on them because I'm pretty sure all of Richard Petty's cars all had this Petty blue in it. All of them had it. I would know because we've seen quite a few of we've seen the car upside down a lot over the years. But anyways, let's kind of go ahead and get down to the sponsors. Now, I will be remiss, and I will say this about the car, and that is, this was before they had the windshield detail, so there's no windshield detail at all in the back or the front. I won't harp on Lionel too much, unlike that Dale Earnhardt one. Ugh. Anyways, you have STP on the front, which has some kind of paint chip on there, so that's not really great. You got Pontiac right there. I love this chrome front. Look at that. I love that. Number 43, STP. Let's actually go to this side since this one's actually not that damaged. See some contingency sponsors, which I'm not going to read them all, but you see 76, STP, Goodyear, STP, Union, NASCAR Race Car, Die Hard. You see 7-Eleven down there. Again, you know, a lot of contingency sponsors. Anyways, you got number 43 on the side. You got Oil Treatment, Curb Studios, which are still around in NASCAR, I still think. STP, I don't know what it says down there. Anyways, it says 43 on the roof, with, of course, that circle background. And then, of course, it says Jensen Car Audio. And then on the back, you got STP, the man himself back there, STP, Pontiac. It's the same stuff on either side. And, of course, there's an underneath look of the car if you wanted to see that. But now, let's get into the race win damage here pretty quickly. So, like I said, this is a race win car. Now, the damage on it is subtle, but if you look at it long enough, you can tell there's race win damage, unlike that Dale Earnhardt one. So actually, let's go ahead and start off with this side that I did have a look at. Not much race win damage. You can see there's a little bit some dirt there, some there. Of course, you can see a lot of it down there. Of course, you can see some more damage right there. That's from the fuel. And on this side, of course, you can see some more damage right there. And of course, obviously, there's a tire donut right there. Some more down there because he did have to beat, I think it was Cale Yarbrough to the stripe of this race that he had to win his 200th win. So yeah, so overall, really good looking car here. First and foremost, really impressed with this car. I gotta say, it's probably one of the I think it's probably one of my favorite ones. And also, fun fact, this is my first Richard Petty diecast. It's funny because I have so many 43 cars that I just don't have the one from the original man himself. And no, I don't count my Strip Weathers one as a Richard Petty diecast, the one from the Disney Cars movie. I don't count that. But now let's go ahead and move into today, 2024. Of course, here is Erik Jones now. Right here in front of you. Now, there's a couple of interesting facts about this car that some of you probably didn't know. Now, I said initially before in the beginning of the video that Erik Jones was scheduled to run this car at the Dover Motor Speedway. But, however, though, the race prior, in the Talladega race, Erik Jones broke his back. He had like a fracture to his vertebrae. And he was forced to sit out at Dover Motor Speedway. However, though, what happened was that Corey Heim was then basically labeled as the driver to drive this car. So technically, this isn't an Erik Jones car, but rather a Corey Heim car. Now, what's funny about that, or not funny, but what's odd is that Lionel did try to offer a race version of that car. Full stop. Now, unfortunately, though, it got canceled. But fortunately, though, the 75th anniversary one, or fortunately enough, though, this car was able to get made. But, of course, you know, as, of course, you can see, it's not a Corey Heim car, as it has clearly, it says Erik Jones on the sides, and it is missing the rookie stripes. Actually, hell, if this was in 2025, there wouldn't be any rookie stripes, since NASCAR has outlawed that. But still, though, I wanted to get this car just because, honestly, it's for that novelty factor, and because I wanted to do a review on both of these two cars. So overall, really nice looking car. Now, they've done throwbacks to this car many, many times, but honestly, this is kind of one of the best ones I've seen. And funny enough, this is on a Toyota, so I think that's the reason why they did, is because, well, we've done this freaking paint scheme on every single brand of car. We did it on a Chevrolet, we did it on a Ford, but let's go ahead and do it on a Toyota. Which I do gotta say, it's not that weird to see the number 43 on a Toyota, if I'm gonna be really frank and honest here. Because if you really think about it, I mean, Richard Petty has been with, like, Oldsmobile and Pontiac, and hell, even afterwards, you know, Dodge and all the rest of those cars. But still, I really like the way that this car came out. Even for a standard edition diecast. Here's a look at the underneath look of the car. So let's kind of go ahead and have a look at the sponsors here real quick. So on the windshield banner, of course, as you can see, you got Toyota, Jones, it says STP, fuel additives. Yeah, additives. I was going to say addictives, but got to correct myself there. It says Dollar Tree right there. Toyota. Here is the Toyota Camry front nose, which I'm not really too, I gotta really be honest, this kind of looks pretty bad if I'm gonna be really frank and honest here. Like, am I tripping balls here, or does this look, I don't know, I think that does not look right. Let me try to get one of these other Toyota cars Like, let me get a race version out here, and it feels off. Huh, no, it doesn't feel off. Then again, this is a race one, so this is a race version, so it probably looks better. I don't know, something about this does not look right. I don't like the way that the headlights look on that car, on this car. Anyways, you got number 43, Sunoco Camry, Sunoco down there. Goodyear NASCAR Cup Series, number 43. It says Dollar Tree on the side, which luckily enough, you know, is just it just says Dollar Tree. It doesn't say doesn't have like a outline or anything like that, so it kind of blends in well. You can see Erik Jones's name, but it's really hard to read, and it says Toyota Legacy Motorsport Club Family Dollar Club Wyndham. Of course, down here you got the Petty 75-year anniversary logo. Advent Health, Goodwrench, D30, Safety Clean, Mobile One. And of course, you got STP full additives. And then, of course, it says 43, Jones. Oh, that's pretty neat. Look at the back here. Of course, as you can see, it says Petty 75-year. And you got the numbers of the several members of the Petty family. Now, I think, if I can name it right, the 41 is supposed to be for Maurice Petty. The 42, obviously, that's Lee Petty. 43, Richard. 44, Kyle Petty. And the 45, Adam Petty. Again, rest in peace, Adam Petty. You died too young. Anyways, we got Dollar Tree, STP, 43, Toyota, Mobile One, Legacy Motor Club. Same stuff on the other side. And, of course, there's an underneath look of the car if you wanted to see that. Also, there's this gold trimming down at the bottom. Is that on the original? No. Okay, that's a nice little bit of a touch there for, like, I guess the modern day stuff. But anyways, though, bit of a long review, I will admit that. But let's kind of go ahead and switch these cars around. As, of course, you can see right there. And I'll then film yeah, now I'll go ahead and just give my final thoughts. So overall, really two good looking cars here. I think definitely my favorite out of the two definitely has to be that Pontiac one or the Richard Petty one. Of course, you can't go wrong with the Richard one, but even the Erik Jones one is a pretty cool looking car. I will say that. Even though, you know, I feel like that the headlights aren't really put on all that great, still, though, really is cool to get both of these two cars. And to, of course, you know, honor the legacy of Richard Petty. This is a better way to honor it rather than those bullshit anniversary waves that we've been getting. Honestly, this if you wanted to make an anniversary wave, these two cars would have been so better instead of those fantasy cars. Like, it would have been so much better. But unfortunately, that's just the way things are with Lionel. So yeah. But anyways, though, guys, I do hope that you all enjoyed this video. Though I will have to be frank and honest here, I'm not so sure how well this video is going to do view-wise, since the last one I did, double diecast review I didn't really do too well. So I'm hoping this one does a bit better. But if not, then, well, don't worry. We're going to be back to our normal schedule programming here in a little bit, and we'll review normal cars from today. As of course, you know, the season is just right around the corner, so it's pretty exciting to see what happens this year. So yeah. But that's all I have to say about these two cars. The Richard Petty one, I did get on eBay, and also the Erik Jones one as well. The Erik Jones one should be out with all the rest of your diecast dealers, like K-State, maybe Spoiler Diecast has it, and then also Circle B has it. But for that 43 one, that's probably going to get a little bit rare. Since it was released a little bit back, it might probably get a bit, it might not be there anymore. So just want to go ahead and say that. But that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video.